Okay. Somebody just told me we're supposed to, so I don't know.
Mayor, what was Denko guy's first name again? Mark.
Okay. Everybody ready? Here we are. It is 7 o'clock. We have a quorum, so we'll call the City Council meeting to order. First item on the agenda will be the invocation given by Councilman Watts, and then the pledge to the American Texas flags. I'll lead those.
Please join me in prayer. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for this day and all the blessings that you've given to each of us. We're always thankful as we gather here for the blessing to live under the form of government that we do, to live in the nation that we do, and in the state and the city that we do. Father, tonight, as Americans, our hearts are encouraged at the victory that was announced today, and we hope that this provides some closure to those who lost loved ones, both on 9/11 and in our military and the engagement since then. But Father, we know that there are places in this world where evil never sleeps, and that as long as that is the case, we must be vigilant, and there must be those willing to step up and sacrifice to protect the rest of us who love freedom and peace and tolerance. And we ask your continued blessings on those who do. Protect them, watch over them, grant them victory so that they can come home. Lord, we ask your continued blessings on those affected by the recent storms throughout the Southeast, those who have lost property and lost family and friends. And we're thankful for the rain that we've had and the respite from the wildfires here. And we ask your blessings on those who have lost property there. We ask that you be with us always. Forgive us when we fail you. We ask for those of us in public service that you grant us wisdom and humility. We ask all this through your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. If you will, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor to Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. We have some proclamations that I'd like to present this evening. And first, we're going to start off with our Travel and Tourism Award. And so if we could have Leanne Lowry and James Montgomery, Cynthia Young, and Kathy Berry. If y'all would all please come forward. These are some, not all, but some of our finest hoteliers here in this city. And I don't know if you realize, the last year, a lot of the countries having a downturn. We here in Louisville have really been having some good fortune. One, of course, was the Super Bowl, helped us out a lot. And two, some of our new things that we have here, including our new Medical Center of Louisville Art Grand Theater, and also our Toyota of Louisville Railroad Park has been bringing a lot of events to the town, and our businesses are doing real well here in town. So we're real proud of these people. So today I want to present you with all of you and all of our hoteliers with a proclamation. It says, whereas leisure travel spending in Texas directly supports more than 540,000 jobs,
accounting for more than $18.2 billion in personal income. And whereas the Dallas-Fort Worth area is the top tourism destination in Texas, with more than 25 million visitors each year, generating more than $1 billion last year in state and local tax revenue. And whereas Louisville is rapidly increasing its profile within the region to attracting leisure visitors that support the city's 2,700 hotel rooms, 200 restaurants, and hundreds of retail businesses. And whereas the Governor's Office of Economic Development and Tourism has declared the second week of May to be Texas Travel and Tourism Week as a way to recognize the contributions of the travel industry in the vast economic potential of tourism. Now, therefore, I, Dean Euchert, Mayor of the City of Louisville, along with the members of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of May 7th through 15th, 2011 as Texas Travel and Tourism Week, proclaimed on this second day of May, 2011. I want to congratulate each one of you and thank you for what you do for our community and what your businesses do for our community. Thank all of you. Let's get a picture and then we'll be on opportunity to speak. So I'll move in here close to their photo. Would one of you like to speak, or all of you like to speak?
You can
Oh,
speak.
you travel with a month. Why don't you go ahead and say a few words?
Well, again, on behalf of the wonderful group of hoteliers, I represent the Hilton Garden Inn and the Louisville Convention Center. We're very excited to be part of this community. I was part of the project from ground up, and every year it's gotten better and better. The community has really rallied. The wonderful amenities that we've added to our community have really enhanced the visitors' experience when they come to Louisville. The branding campaign has definitely put us on the map. So again, we want to thank the community for the support, and we're happy to be part of this great, vibrant community. Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it.
Okay, next, if we could have Anthony Cherry and Toby McGuire and Jeremy Smith, if y'all could come forward. We appreciate all y'all's work. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate all your hard work. Thank you so much. We appreciate all your hard work. Thank y'all so much. You know, we often try to give some recognition to some of our team members here in our city that do some outstanding work for us. And year after year after year after year, we receive recognition for our water here in the city of Louisville. We've won the Water Taste Award numerous years, and we're always acclaimed as having the best water system, one of the best water systems in the entire state and the entire region. And that's due not only by these three people here, but also all the people that work in their departments and stuff. And sometimes they don't get a lot of recognition. Sometimes it's not a real thankful job, some of the things they have to do. But I tell you, when we go in the morning and wake up, we want to take that nice hot shower, sure is good to have that water come out of that spigot. Or when you go home and want to wash your hands or clean up a little bit after you've been out in the yard, sure is nice to have that available to us. So we want to thank all of you for all the work you do. And I want to appreciate this, present this proclamation to you, and if you will, pass it on to your fellow co-workers, I'd appreciate it. Whereas water is a basic and essential need for all humankind and all living things to sustain life, and whereas water is a limited resource that should be used wisely, and the water supply protected by preventing pollution and conserving water, and whereas public works and utilities provide essential services needed for the protection of healthy and welfare in the community as part of their everyday lives, and whereas the support of a satisfied and informal citizen is vital to the professional operation of the public works utility system and essential programs such as water production and distribution, wastewater treatment and collection, environmental services, streets and storm drainage, traffic and flow operations in public buildings and facilities, and whereas the quality and efficiency of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public service employees. Whereas the efficiency of the qualified and committed personnel who staff the Public Services Department is significantly influenced by citizens' attitudes and appreciation of the important work they perform. Now, therefore, I, Dean Euchert, Mayor of the City of Louisville, on behalf of Louisville City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of May 1 through 7, 2011, as National Drinking Water Week, on May 12 through 21, 2011, as National Public Works Week, and urge all citizens and civic organizations to understand and recognize the contributions of Public Services Department in providing for our daily utility needs and protecting the health, safety, and well-being of our community. Let's give all of them a big round of applause. Thank you, Tony. Let's get a photo here also. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Nice to have those sports pleasures now, too. I'll take care of it. If I could ask Kenneth Nassiger to come in, please. Come forward, please. Where's you? There you are. Mr. Nassiger, thank you so much for your work and your service to our community. We appreciate all that you do for us each and every day. Thank you. You and your fellow co-workers. We appreciate you. I was just telling them, we appreciate all that they do for us in our community, not just this time of the year, but year-round. As we know, sometimes their job is a little bit more up in the forefront than the Public Services Department. It was just here. And sometimes they're a little bit more recognized. But I always say, the only time you don't want to see a police officer is when you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. If you're speeding a little bit or running through a stop sign or doing something like that, you're looking around, make sure there's not one there. But if you're going out to your car late at night, or you're walking through a dark alley, or you hear somebody scratching on that window screen, or you see somebody roaming through your yard, you're sure wondering, where's a police officer? And you want them by you. So we want to thank y'all and commend you for all the work you do. And I want to present you with this proclamation, if you will. Pass it on to your co-workers. We'd greatly appreciate it, sir. Whereas the Congress of the United States of America has designated May 15th through May 21st, 2011 to be dedicated as National Police Week and May 15th, 2011 as Police Memorial Day, and whereas our law enforcement officers are the guardians of life and property, defenders of the individual right to be free men and women, warriors in the battle against crime, and are dedicated to the preservation of life and property. And whereas our community desires to remember those law enforcement officers who have been killed in the performance of their duties, now therefore I, Dean Euchert, Mayor of the City of Louisville, Texas, do hereby proclaim the week of May 15th through 21st, 2011 as National Police Officers Week and May 15th, 2011 as Police Memorial Day in the City of Louisville, and urge all citizens to make every effort to express heartfelt appreciation to the men and women who have sacrificed their lives to guard us and our loved ones against all who would violate the law, proclaimed the second day of May 2011. Let's give them also a big round of applause. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes, sir. On behalf of Chief Kerbo and the rest of the department, I really like to thank you, the mayor, and the rest of the city council, as well as the citizens of Louisville. And we'll continue to try to work as hard as we can to protect and serve everybody in the neighborhood and all of our guests that come to town as well. Thank you, sir.
Before we go any further, I want to make sure that we understand that we need to be aware of their families as well as we do to be aware of your family members also, because a lot of times they're called out in the middle of the night, crazy hours, public service, police, fire, all those people are called out in crazy middle times of the night, and their families have to be dedicated enough to willing to share them with our community, and they make them part of our family. So we want to appreciate and thank their families as well. Okay, next we're going to do a motorcycle proclamation. So if I could have David Demure, Shannon Moore, Chris Collins, and Michael Johnson please come forward. Hope I didn't leave anybody out.
Yeah.
You can play with me, sir.
No, sir. No.
I'm Dean Euchert. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. Hi, I'm Dean Euchert. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Euchert. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. we have them come forward every year. Sometimes we lose sight of how important a part of our community those who choose to ride motorcycles. They provide a great service that many of us don't realize sometimes. And sometimes we as citizens that don't participate in the activity get a little frustrated. We don't take the necessary precautions that we should. Sometimes due to our negligence, we put certain people at risk. And we want to make sure that we make everyone aware of the necessity to make sure that we take caution and care and give these people also the acclaim that they deserve for all the well-doing that you do. I know you all have heard of the Toys for Tots, and lately, what's the motorcycle brigade that does for the veterans? What is it? Patriot Guard. Patriot Guards are just do fabulous works, and all those people are motorcycle people. So with this, we'd like to present you and all your fellow co-riders with this proclamation. Whereas today's society is finding more citizens involved in motorcycling on the roads of our country, and whereas motorcyclists are roughly unprotected and more prone to injury or death in a crash than other vehicle drivers, and whereas campaigns have helped inform riders and motorists alike on motorcycle safety issues to reduce motorcycle-related risks, injuries, and most of all, fatalities through a comprehensive approach to motorcycle safety, and where it is the responsibility of all who put themselves behind the wheel to become aware of motorcyclists, regarding them with the same respect as any other vehicle traveling the highways of this country. And whereas urging all citizens of our community to become aware of the inherent danger involved in operating a motorcycle and give the operator respect on the road they deserve. Now, therefore, I, Dean Euchert, Mayor of the City of Louisville, on behalf of the Louisville City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2011 as Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month in the City of Louisville, Texas, and urge all residents to do their part to increase safety and awareness in our community, proclaim the second day of May 2011. Once again, I want to thank you for what you do. We appreciate you very much. Thank you. God bless you. Photo here. I'll let you squeeze it until we get a photo. Come on, young, get a little photo. That's right.
I sure would. Yeah, I'd like to thank Mayor Euchert and the City Council for working with me again for the second year on providing us with a proclamation for motorcycle safety and awareness. Louisville's joining over 260 cities across the state in signing proclamations to try to help the community become more aware of the motorcyclists. And it's not only the responsibility of the motorcycle rider themselves to be safe, and safety and awareness is also the responsibility of everybody that's out on the road. This year's campaign means a lot more to me. I mean, it always means more to me, but it means even a little bit more to me. I lost a very good friend this year to a negligent driver that pulled out in front of him. You know, motorcycle safety and awareness, like I said, is everybody's responsibility. You'll find that more than 50% of the drivers that are involved in a vehicle-motorcycle accident, the vehicle driver will get out and say, I just didn't see him. So if we can get these proclamations signed, maybe get some articles in the newspaper, some share the road signs in our cities and bring awareness to motorcycle safety, maybe we can save some lives out there. And I want to thank everybody here and thank the mayor again and the city council. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And I have another proclamation. If I could have Diana Smith and Amy Boris come forward, please. Hi, I'm Dean. Nice to meet you. My pleasure. I have another proclamation that I'd like to present these young ladies. Whereas the City of Louisville hereby declares May 2011 as Civility Awareness Month to celebrate the spirit of civility among all peoples regardless of race, creed, color, or station in life. Let us celebrate civility by treating each other in our schools, communities, businesses, families, and places of worship with respect, restraint, and responsibility. The 3 R's, principles of civility, are defined by Dr. P.M. Forney, co-founder of the Johns Hopkins University Civility Project and internationally renowned civility expert. And whereas acts of incivility have become prevalent in today's complex, competitive society and affect the quality of life for all who live and work and visit our city. And whereas life is about relationships and the quality of our lives depend on our ability to relate and connect with each other. And whereas everyone is a winner when we treat each other in the best way we know how and urge them to do the same, and our city and nation are stronger and our global image more elevated as a result. And whereas the Association of Image Consultants International has been inspired by Dr. Forney to increase public awareness about civility by launching the Civility Counts Project globally, and the City of Louisville is proud to be included in this initiative. Therefore, during the month of May in our city, let every man, woman, and child practice to embrace civility by being attentive, considerate, kind, giving, polite, and thoughtful, and following the 3 R's, principle of respect, restraint, responsibility, and all their interactions with each other. Now, therefore, I, Dean Ukert, Mayor of the City of Louisville, on behalf of the entire City Council, hereby proclaim the month of May 2011 as Civility Awareness Month and encourage all citizens of and visitors to the City of Louisville to embrace civility and practice it in their daily lives today and every day in recognition of the global AICI Civility Counts Project proclaimed on this 2nd day of May 2011. And I want to thank you two ladies for your involvement and for work that you do to try to help us remember that we just need to be civil with one another and love is abound. Thank you both very much for your work. Let's give them a big round of applause. One of you like to say a few words? Thank you very much. You know, that last word's pretty simple. All you got to do is just treat people with respect and kindness. You'll get it back. Next item on the agenda is item number 1, a public hearing. Consideration of an ordinance for a zone change request from local commercial to public use on 4.09 acres located at the northwest corner of Valley Parkway and Civic Circle, further identified as Louisville Valley Commercial Edition, Block A, Lot 3, as requested by Denton County, the property owner. The property is currently zoned local commercial and is surrounded by the United States Post Office, which is zone specific use to the west, multifamily 2 on the northwest, and another local commercial parcel to the north. Denton County has another parcel of property across the street to the south of this that is already zoned public use. The county has plans to build a new 3-story, 40,000 square foot government building for Denton County Precinct 3. The existing building on this site is to remain. Public governmental agency uses are permitted in all zoning districts, although the agency must follow the general regulations of the district in which the use is located. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted 7-0 in favor of the zoning change request at their April 5, 2011 meeting. Recommendation of staff is that the council approve the zoning ordinance amending the Louisville City Code, Chapter 17, the zoning ordinance amendments as set forth in the above caption. And I do have a card here filled out by John Levitt. He is actually here, is just here to answer any questions if needed. And he is in support. And then I have a card filled out by our Commissioner Bobby Mitchell. And she does not wish to speak, but she is in support of this. And then also have a card filled out by Michael Tabolo. And he does not wish to speak, but he is also in support of this. So with that, Councilman Thornhill, does council have any questions? Councilman Thornhill?
I move to close the public hearing. Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Thornhill to close the public hearing, a second by Councilman Grenna. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilman Thornhill?
And if there's no discussion, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilman Thornhill, a second by Councilman Grenna. All in favor?
Yeah, Mayor,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Councilor. I'm sorry. I beg your pardon.
this is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, that amends the zoning ordinance of the City of Louisville, Texas, granting zoning changes on the 4.09-acre tract of land fully and completely described in the attached Exhibit A, ordering a change in the use of said property from local commercial district zoning to public use district zoning, correcting the official zoning map, preserving all other portions of the zoning ordinance, providing a clause relating to severability, determining that the public interest and general welfare demand a zoning change and amendment therein made, providing a penalty, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Councilor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2 is also a public hearing, consideration of an ordinance for a zone change request from multifamily 2 to general business on 10.4139 acres located at the southwest corner of I-35E and Grandy Lane, further identified as Summit Ridge Apartments addition, the remainder of Lot 2R, Block A, as requested by Santa Fe Realty Corporation, the property owner. The property is currently zoned multifamily 2. A portion located at the southeast corner of I-35 was rezoned to general business in 2004 and replatted as Lot 3. Another portion of the property fronting on I-35 has been bought by TxDOT for the I-35 expansion. Well, I'm glad to hear that. The property is adjacent to the recently built Summit Ridge Apartments located on the southeast side of Grandy's Lane and Summit Ridge Avenue. Lot 2R is currently vacant. A portion of the lot is in the floodplain. The proposed rezoning to general business will still leave a floodplain buffer between the proposed retail lots and the apartments. The request would be consistent with the existing zoning in the area. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted 7-0 in favor of the zone change request at their April 5, 2011 meeting. Recommendation is that council approve the proposed ordinance amending the Louisville City Code, Chapter 17, the comprehensive zoning ordinance as set forth in the above caption. I do have one card filled out by O'Neill Gray. Does not wish to speak, but is here to answer any questions if there are any. Does council have any questions?
Move to close public hearing.
I have a motion by Councilman Durham to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second by Councilman Watts. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilman Durham?
There's no discussion. I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilman Durham, a second by Councilman Watts.
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, that amends the zoning ordinance of the City of Louisville, Texas, granting zoning changes on the 10.4139-acre tract of land fully and completely described in the attached Exhibit A, ordering a change in the use of said property from multifamily 2 district zoning to general business district zoning, correcting the official zoning map, preserving all other portions of the zoning ordinance, providing a clause relating to severability, determining that the public interest and general welfare demand a zoning change and amendment therein made, providing a penalty, and declaring an emergency.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the Visitor Citizen Forum. I do have a few cards filled out here. At this time, any person with business before the council not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the council. No formal action can be taken on these items at this meeting. Carol Tomkovich, if you'd like to come forward. Oh. R. Neil Ferguson, would you rather come forward first? Okay. If you would, Neil, just give your name and address to the record, please, sir.
Arneal Ferguson, 1097 Holly Lane, Louisville, Texas. Sorry to be doing hand signals back there, but I'm the introduction for Carol. So,
Okay.
At the council workshop a month ago, the question was posed: have we looked at gas drilling setbacks recently, and have there been changes? And I was aware there had been some changes in what's going on in neighboring communities, but actually we hadn't really formally looked at that for some time. The original document that we worked from was prepared by Carol Tomkovich, and I cannot thank Carol enough for her hard work on that. She collected information on 20 towns and cities in the Dallas-Fort Worth, basically Dallas-Tarrant County, Denton County area, into a spreadsheet, not looking to pick for any particular reason other than simply the availability of information and a reasonable chance at putting that into some kind of column format where you could compare across all manner of setbacks, variations of ordinance features, and so forth, which is why, by the way, because I think the question was raised, was there some, bias in choosing? It's really impossible, because if you pick one town that maybe proves a point about one thing, then you get a different answer on something else. So it's like playing whack-a-mole. You can't decide, who to choose, so you just put them all in there. And Carol's intent when she put it together was not to prove a point, it was to find an answer. So, but that work was done back in August, so 9 months ago, and 9 months have passed since we looked at, where has that gone, what has changed. After the workshop, I got with Carol and I asked her if I could prevail upon her again to update that table, and also if she was able to find any additional data on towns in Dallas-Tarrant County and Denton County area where we could get it, built into the table and make it make sense. Then let's add them, because truly the more the merrier. We wanted as broad a picture as possible. She was able to find some additional cities, and so now the table has been updated. It's gone from 20 to 28 cities, and it considers all manner of different issues. Do they require a special use permit? What's the setback for water wells? What's their minimum setback? You name it. And so I want to introduce Carol, let her present that table to you, and then ask you to consider what we should probably take this and do next with it. But let me turn the microphone over to Carol. Thank you.
Tomkovich, if you'd like to come forward, please. If you would, ma'am, just give your name and address for the record.
Yes. Can you hear me? Carol Tomkovich, 2038 Barcliff Road in Louisville. And Mayor Euchert, may I hand this packet?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Did I get all 10? No, I'm kidding.
I'm not going to go over all the data. I'm going to make this real quick. As Neil said, we had the original 20 cities and we added 8. Of the original 20, the only one that changed significantly was Grand Prairie. It did raise a few of the setbacks. We also decided to add another statistic, which is the mode. And if you remember your middle school math, the median, if you put all the data in numerical order, the median would be the middle number. The mode is the number that occurs most often, or the most common number. I should mention that 3 cities are under a moratorium right now: Flower Mound, South Lake, and Bartonville. And then, so just in general, there are the 20 cities we had, the 8 new cities, and at the end you have the mean, the median, the mode, and then Louisville was not averaged into the data because it's for comparison to the mean, median, mode. We did notice that of the 28 cities, 16 either need some kind of zoning, some kind of special, specific use permit. It's either not allowed. There's one that didn't allow drilling within the city at all, and there were 3 that didn't allow drilling within residential areas. So out of 28, there were 16 that had some kind of special permit or special zoning that was required. I believe that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you both very much for all your help and work in helping us collect some of this information. I know it's important and vital that we have the input from the citizens so that we can get a good feel of how we need to keep this ordinance up to date and amend it as we see needed. So we appreciate that.
Mayor, just a quick closing comment. One of the things that I couldn't help but notice as we go back through this is how intelligent Louisville's approach is to setbacks. We're the only city that has the tiered or ring approach to looking at setbacks. And in having worked on this problem now for over a year, I have to say that we should be the model for other cities to look at in that respect. It is unquestionably, in my mind, the number one correct way to go about looking at setbacks. is to set a tier structure, and we've done that. The only question remains now is, are the numbers we've applied to the tier structure, are they good? Do we need to look at changing them? But I do want to say that to the credit of city staff, to the credit of our city, we have unquestionably the most intelligent approach to this problem. Thank you.
You bet. And I guess I would ask staff to just look at, go through this information, look at it, and kind of give us your evaluation of it, and see if you think that we might need to look at doing any. You can just send an email out to city manager if you would, an evaluation of it, and see if any council member would like to take it any further, look at making any amendments to setbacks or anything like that, or see if we think we're in good shape. Okay. Okay. Next card I have filled out is T.J. Gilmore. And Mr. Gilmore, if you will just leave your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. T.J. Gilmore, 724 Juniper Lane, Louisville, Texas. Wanted to remind everyone that the Relay for Life for Southern Denton County is coming up this Friday the 13th through Saturday the 14th. We're going to be at Kilo 9th Grade Center again this year, and we want to thank the city for the donation of tents to be able to use, as well as for a proclamation that will be coming that week. We decided not to do it during the pile of proclamations tonight. If you are interested in participating in the Relay for Life, you can either contact me or you can go to Relay for Life and just Google it. You'll find it for Southern Denton County. It is a wonderful opportunity to raise money for the battle against cancer. Cancer survivors, of course, are always welcome, and there's all sorts of activities for families to come and participate in and to help raise funds to eliminate this killer. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. It is a very worthy cause. I'm a cancer survivor myself, and I have family members that didn't make it, so it is a worthy cause. I'd encourage everyone to go out there. I won't be able to attend the entire event, but I will be out there some of the event. So encourage everyone to attend it if you can. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. All of the following items on the consent agenda are considered to be self-explanatory by the council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests. For a citizen to request removal of an item, a speaker card must be filled out and submitted to the city secretary. I did not have any cards filled out and no council member. Councilman Grena?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Guerrero to approve the consent agenda, a second by Councilman Watts. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11 is consideration of a variance to Louisville Old Town Development Ordinance, Section 194C, regarding building materials, and a variance to the Louisville City Code, Section 2-201, regarding waiving the variance fee for the property located at 321 North Cowan Avenue, as requested by Wayne Daniels, owner of Rose Ridge Apartments. Wayne Daniels purchased the Rose Ridge Apartments in February of 2005. The property has 3 two-story apartment buildings totaling 18 units, and within the complex, a single-story caretaker's house and a 2-story residence/office occupied by Mr. Daniels. Mr. Daniels proposes to re-side the exterior of his residence office building with a rigid vinyl siding product, which is already half completed. Mr. Daniels met with the OT, Old Town Design Review Committee, on April 25, 2011, and the design was approved by a vote of 3-0. Recommendation of staff is that council consider the request to allow the use of the vinyl siding on the owner's office/residence and deny the request to waive the $300 variance fee as set forth in the caption above. I do have a card filled out here. Mr. Wayne Daniels does not wish to speak, but is here to answer any questions that you might have. Does staff have any questions of Mr. Daniels? Council, I have a question on your comments. You talk about that the work is half completed. Could you explain that a little bit?
I believe that Mr. Daniels commenced some initial work on the building, and then he was informed, fairly short order, he didn't get very far, that he needed a permit and OTDRC approval, and subsequent to that, he has followed all the procedures.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay. Councilman Watts?
The O-Town Design Review Committee recommended to approve it, and I'm not inclined to disagree with them. Is there any specific reason on the request for the variance fee? I thought we talked about in the workshop that they're...
I'm not aware of any. That's probably something Mr. Daniels could best answer.
Mr. Daniels, would you like to answer that question? If you would come forward, please, sir. If you would just give your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Wayne E. Daniels. I reside at 321 North Cowan Avenue, Louisville, Texas.
Uh-huh.
The exact question, the individual one on the variance?
Yeah, I mean, is there a specific reason you're requesting the variance fee be waived?
Yes. This place is a money pit. It really is. It's all bills paid. The last 3 years, I've sunk a lot of money into it. I need to have some reprieve due to the fact that the electrical costs that I pay for all those tenants to keep the complex full and to get the better quality tenants that I've been trying to get there. Constantly, I've had to replace air conditioning levels of all the different floors because they're runoff 7 systems altogether. The constant cost is what I have a real hard time with these latter years. I was expecting 3 years would be the minimum time that I would need, or maximum time, I guess, for repairing everything here at this complex. But over the years, it was just neglected so much, and the city did not have their hands in the cookie jar looking there and saying, hey, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be done on the way, and I've had to catch up with a lot of stuff. And so I'm just hoping that, I mean, from sewer lines to rooftops, it's just been a real disaster. So that's my reason.
I personally have never really liked the idea of having to pay fees for permission to do something, especially if the variance is granted. So I'm all right with the variance fee and to allow and to approve the variance. But I'm willing to make that a motion unless other folks have comments or questions.
Question, was that to waive the fee? Okay. Thank you.
The recommendation was to deny the waive of the fee from the staff. I know there's a lot of roofs in Louisville right now needing to be repaired, and each one of those roofing companies have to come get a permit also to work on those roofs for each residence. And I'm inclined to agree with Mr. Watts about, waiving the fee. I mean, that don't like fees, but everybody else has to pay a fee.
Well, sir, I don't mind paying a fee, but $350 seems to be kind of high. I wouldn't mind, 50% of that, that'd be fine. I'd be willing to go with that.
How do we rank that fee? I mean, sounds like a...
Well, that's another issue. I'd recommend us not getting into discussion of the fee. The fees are set in accordance with surrounding cities, what we're doing. We're very competitive with surrounding cities. That's what they charge. We don't charge enough, actually, to offset the cost of staff to go through the work and the deliberation and this and that and code enforcement to make sure that you're doing what you need to be doing, so on and so forth. And so it just it affects all the taxpayers when someone has to do this. And so we're having to pay their salary and staff, and that's what the fees are set there for.
No harm in asking.
It's a little bit different, I think, from what Councilman Grena is saying. I'm getting a permit. Now, obviously, you already got your permit and paid for your permit once the city staff came out there and told you stop. basically what you're having to pay is a little bit different from just a permit of someone putting on the roof. They're going to have to get a permit, but they wouldn't have to get a variance unless they're using a substandard material, which is required by the ordinance, which is what they're doing here.
I understand. Now, was the permit issued prior to work start or after?
No, I've had permits all along. It's just that they were nickel and diming me to death. When I found out I had to have a permit for sheetrock to be replaced, nobody could tell me how old the home was and why. I just saw mold and I thought, that needs to be replaced, stuff like that.
I have a question, I'll follow up on that. I thought that there was work being done before there was a permit on this
Well, there's
side.
certain work that can be done with a permit, and there's certain work that, some of that work doesn't require OTDRC approval, so, like an interior rehab, it doesn't go to
Did the city issue a
OTDRC.
permit?
I'd have to check with staff.
It
I'm not
expired.
aware of all the permitting timelines or which permits were issued and when.
It
The
does
issue
make a big
came up when the
difference to me.
exterior modification came up, and the exterior modification requires a different process.
But was there a permit issued? That's
Prior
my-
to that,
Yeah.
I'd have to ask Eric. I don't know what the timing was. Eric, I don't know if you can help out on that.
The building official is here, and he can give you the whole history on it.
Okay.
I'd like to hear that. But the only question I really had was, did he have a permit before he started construction of the outside that we were doing the waiver on?
The permit for the siding that we're
Siding,
discussing.
yes.
Right.
The issue is that it was brought to our attention that the siding was being put onto to this residence. We issued a stop work order, notified him that he needed to go to Old Town Design Review to get the siding approved, and so no work has commenced until he knows where he stands tonight, and then he will be issued a permit after this meeting.
Did he have a permit before at all?
He did not.
Not for that work, and he was unaware, I believe, that there was one required for that type of work.
Okay.
Yeah, that does make sense. I agree. Okay, Councilman Miranda, do you have anything else that you want to add on that? Or?
Well, the motion's already been made to approve the variance and to...
No, I haven't made the motion.
Oh, you didn't make the motion? Okay. Well, if no one has a problem, then...
Do you want a further explanation of why I'm choosing the material? Because I heard that was inferior. It's a lot more expensive than actual replacing the shiplap that's on it. And I did provide the technical details on that. It has paperwork, and there's a sample of it somewhere that will show you that material is far superior to what is on that building. I'm concerned about also continuous maintenance, that I did not want to be painting that thing all the time. And then with the original shiplap that's on there, if you take that shiplap off, this building is balloon framing, and you're going to have all the loose insulation fall out, and I'm going to have a kind of like a disaster of this material everywhere. And then it's been caboosed many times through the years. You can see the shiplap at the back of the building, and that's the reason why it was looked at that part there, because the trees were trimmed so people could see that. But where the actual rigid, which is a styrofoam-backed, a real strong polar vinyl that was put on, it was put on over the shiplap that was a continuous, and it looked proper from the street. But the problem with it is insects, the rot of the material. But on the backside, it had a foam-type shiplap, and it was mixed with some other shiplap, and it just looked just absolutely horrible. And once again, if you tear all that off, it's just a disaster. That's going to occur with all the material coming out of the building.
Let me make the motion to go with the recommendation of City Council to approve the variance on the sound lighting and to deny the request to waive the $350 variance fee.
I'll second that.
We had a motion by Councilman Miranda to approve the variance to use the other material, the rigid vinyl siding product, but deny the request for the waiving of the $350 variance fee.
I have one more comment, sir.
Sure.
Just for you, sir. I don't mind. I think sometimes there's a lenience on a case-by-case basis. If, everybody followed all the rules and did everything right. But it's the, variance fee that most people pay. I mean, we have given a waive on the variance fee for the nonprofit organizations and stuff like
That's
that.
fine.
And we're all, but it's nothing personal, it's just kind of like,
I wasn't aware that there was a standard.
no, but it is a
Okay.
standard, and that's what it is. And I just want you to be aware of that.
Fine.
All right.
So we did have a motion, is there, and a second by Councilman Durham. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
If the motion carries 3-1. Get that, Julie? Okay. Motion carries 3-1.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. Next item is item 12, consideration of a variance to Louisville City Code, Section 6-54, engineering site plan requirements, including plating requirements and associated improvements to McDonald Street related to 335 McDonald Street, formerly the hitching post, as requested by Michael Sandifer, the owner. The subject property is zoned light industrial and contains an existing building and parking lot, however, has never been platted or site planned. In the interest of providing independent access to 256 Post Oak, the owners have proposed constructing a residential drive connecting 256 Post Oak to McDonald Street on the west side of the existing commercial building at 335 McDonald Street. The owner of 335 McDonald Street has applied for a variance to waive the site plan, the plat, and resulting street improvement requirements on McDonald Street while allowing the proposed access to be constructed. The owner of 335 McDonald Street has agreed to construct a driveway compliant with City of Louisville requirements and has agreed to de-restrict the property, prohibiting auto sales and auto repair. Recommendation of staff is council approve the requested variance as set forth in the caption above. I do have one card here filled out. Michael Sandifer does not wish to speak. It is here to answer any questions if council might have any. Does council have any questions of Mr. Sandifer? Councilman Thornhill?
Make a motion to approve as it's presented.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Thornhill to approve as presented, a second by Councilman Watts. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13 is consideration of two variances to Louisville City Code, Chapter 6, Land Development relating to a proposed engineering site plan for National Switchgear Systems located on the north side of Franklin Street, east of I-35, as requested by Steve Holmeyer, P.E., representing the property owners. The subject 5.4-acre property previously platted as two-lot contains a 35,725 square foot warehouse and a separate office building on Lot 1R. The owners plan to construct an additional 23,360 square foot office warehouse building on Lot 2. An engineering site plan was approved by the City Council on February 16, 2009, with two variances. Some of the off-site improvements were built, but not the on-site improvements, and therefore the site plan approval expired. The owners have reapplied for the two original variances in conjunction with their site plan. A, to waive the site plan requirement for Lot 1R, Block A, and B, to provide a reduced number of parking spaces on Lot 2, the site of the new building. The property is zoned light industrial. Recommendation is council approve the requested variances as set forth in the caption above. And I do have one card here. Brian Farley is with National Switchgear. Did you want to speak, sir? I'm sorry? No, just here to answer questions? Okay, sir. He doesn't want to speak. He's here to answer any questions if council has any questions. Anybody, council, have any questions? Councilman Watts?
It's good to see local business expanding. Glad to see that. Doing very well. And with that, I move to approve.
Second.
And also, I'm sorry, there was a Brian Early and Scott Lewis here. Did y'all want to speak, or are you just here for questions also? Okay, I'm sorry, sir. Sorry I missed that. Okay, we had a motion to approve by Councilman Watts, a second by Councilman Guerrero. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, gentlemen. Item 14, consideration of variance to the Louisville City Code, Section 2-201, fee schedule regarding a waiver of the third-floor City Hall rental fees for the Southern Denton County Neighbor-to-Neighbor reception being held on May 19, 2011. A Southern Denton County Neighbor-to-Neighbor check distribution event is being held on May 19, 2011, from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Rental of the venue is $150 an hour plus a $500 deposit. They're requesting that the rental fee for this event be waived. However, they will be submitting payment for the $500 deposit and providing the required insurance. Council approved the waiver fee for the 2008, 2009, and 2010 receptions, and the recommendation is that council approve the waiving of the third-floor City Hall rental fees for the Southern Denton County Neighbor-to-Neighbor reception being held on May 19, 2011, as set forth in the caption above, but require the deposit and insurance.
Mayor, that date should actually be June the 9th.
Okay. Should be June 9th instead of May 19th. Okay, council, everybody understand that? The date is actually June the 9th instead of May 19th. So June 9th would be the date. I don't have any cards filled out. I will say that Southern Denton County Neighbor for the last several years has been the designated giving social or nonprofit agency for giving the city staff. It gives to 13. They give to 13 different social service agencies here in the community. And right now, all of it is done, 100% of the money donated goes directly to the agencies themselves. There is no overhead cost or expense taken out by Southern Denton County Neighbor. It's all done strictly on a volunteer basis. And we hope that continues to grow, and we're continuing to help the service agencies here in the community. Councilman Guerrero?
I'm glad that's indoors this year. Last year we kind of got rained out, and I think that's a good, that was the one we had over at the amphitheater, right, last year? Anyway, move to approve, and for June 9th, 2011, which is a Thursday, as set forth in the caption above. Everything else is set forth in the caption above. Second.
Have a recommendation, motion for approval by Councilman Guerrero, a second by Councilman Watts. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 15. Before we go to item 15, I'm going to request that we, hold on just a second. In accordance with the Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, we will now convene into executive session. we'll convene back into regular session. Item 15 is consideration of an ordinance authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $4,965,000 City of Louisville, Texas combination contract revenue and special assessment refunding and capital improvement bonds, Series 2011, Louisville Castle Hills Public Improvement District Number 3 project, the Series 2011 bonds, in accordance with the terms of the trust agreement authorizing defeasance, thank you. Defeasance and refunding of $1,026,258 City of Louisville, Texas combination contract revenue and special assessment bonds, Series 2004 Louisville Castle Hills Public Improvement District Number 3, the Series 2004 bonds or the refunded bonds. Approving and authorizing the execution of the trust agreement, authorizing a final offering statement pertaining to the issuance of the Series 2011 bonds, delegating authority to authorize officials to finalize agreement and finalize a bond purchase agreement, providing an effective date and containing other matters related to the bonds, acknowledging the acquisition and waiver agreement, and allowing the extension of debt past the original maturity date with the issuance of the refunding bonds. Councilman Durham?
Nobody has anything else. I move to approve per the caption and the individual items listed in the comments.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Durham to approve as presented, second by Councilman Thornhill.
This is an ordinance authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $4,965,000 City of Louisville, Texas combination contract revenue and special assessment refunding and capital improvement bonds, Series 2011, Louisville Castle Hills Public Improvement District Number 3 project in accordance with the terms of the certain trust agreement, authorizing the defeasance and refunding of $1,026,258 City of Louisville, Texas combination contract revenue and special assessment bonds, Series 2004, Louisville Castle Hills Public Improvement District Number 3, approving and authorizing the execution of the trust agreement, authorizing a final offering statement pertaining to the issuance of the Series 2011 bonds, delegating authority to authorize officials to finalize certain sale terms relating to the bonds, finalize an escrow agreement, finalize a bond purchase agreement, providing an effective date, and containing other matters relating to the bonds.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 16, consideration of an ordinance amending Louisville City Code, Chapter 2, Section 2-201 fee schedule by adding fees related to rental options at the Medical Center of Louisville Grand Theater, by modifying specific Medical Center of Louisville Grand and special event vendor fees, and by consolidating all community relations and tourism fees. Staff has identified several changes that need to be made to the fee schedule for special events vendors and also for rentals at MCL Grand. This includes minor adjustments to some specific fees as well as adding some new rental options at the Arts Center. After reviewing the current fee schedule for these two areas, staff determined that the more efficient approach would be to replace all the existing vendor and MCL Grand fees with new updated content. Recommendation is council approve the proposed changes in the fee schedule and stipulate that changes to the Western Days food vendor fee is effective after September 25th, 2011. Councilman Thornhill?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll go ahead and make a motion if there's no discussion to approve.
Have a motion to approve by Councilman Thornhill.
Second.
A second by Councilman Watts. Any discussion? Councilor?
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, amending the Louisville City Code, Chapter 2, Section 2-201 fee schedule by adding MCL Grand rental fees and special event vendor fees, consolidating all community relation and tourism fees, providing a repealer, providing for severability, providing an effective date, and declaring an emergency.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 17 is a second reading, consideration of ordinance amending the Louisville City Code, Chapter 6, Land Development Regulations by prohibiting the conversion, enclosure, or alteration of a garage for non-parking use in single-family dwellings as requested by Councilman David Thornhill. At the April 18, 2011 City Council meeting, the council approved the subject ordinance. However, due to the lack of a 4/5 votes by the council to adopt the ordinance on an emergency basis, the ordinance has to be read on 3 separate days to meet the city charter requirements. This will be the second reading. Councilor?
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, amending the Louisville City Code, Chapter 6, Land Development Regulations by prohibiting the conversion, enclosure, or alteration of a garage for non-parking use in single-family attached or detached dwellings, providing a repealer, providing for severability, providing for a penalty, and providing an effective date.
Item 18 is also a second reading, consideration of ordinance amending the Louisville City Code, Chapter 11, signs relating to group signs, banner signs, sandwich boards, and definitions. At the April 18, 2011 City Council meeting, the council approved the subject ordinance. However, due to a lack of a 4/5 vote by the council to adopt the ordinance on an emergency basis, the ordinance has to be read on 3 separate days to meet the city charter requirements. This will be the second reading. Councilor?
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, amending Chapter 11 signs of the Louisville City Code by amending the regulations relating to balloons, balloon signs, inflatable signs, pennants, streamers, and banner signs, adding a subsection regarding sandwich board signs, providing for a repealer, providing for severability, providing a penalty, and providing an effective date.
Number 19 is also a second reading, consideration on ordinance amending the Louisville City Code, Chapter 7, Article 7, relating to the Food Service Establishments Ordinance. At the April 18, 2011 City Council meeting, the council approved the subject ordinance. However, due to a lack of 4/5 votes by the council to adopt the ordinance on an emergency basis, the ordinance has to be read on 3 separate days to meet the city charter requirements. This will be the second reading. Councilor?
This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Louisville, Texas, amending Chapter 7, Licenses and Business Regulations of the Louisville City Code by deleting the current language in Article 7, Food Service Establishments, in its entirety and replacing it with new language, providing for a repealer, providing for severability, providing a penalty, and providing an effective date.
Item 20. Item 20 is acceptance of a resignation of Lorenzo Erickson from place number 5 on the Old Town Design Review Committee. Declare a vacancy exists in consideration of an appointment to place number 5 on the Old Town Design Review Committee. Lorenzo Erickson has submitted a written notice resigning from the Old Town Design Review Committee. This resignation creates a vacancy in place number 5. This committee is made up of 5 members and a licensed architect that serves as an advisor. The committee must consist of 1 person who owns real estate and resides in the Old Town Design District or Old Town Design Center District, 3 Louisville residents who also own real estate within the city of Louisville, and 1 Old Town business representative who is employed with the Old Town Center Design District or Old Town Design District. Mr. Erickson has been serving in the position representing a Louisville resident who owns real estate within the city of Louisville. Recommendation is that council accept the resignation of Lorenzo Erickson from place number 5 on the Old Town Design Review Committee, declare that a vacancy does exist, and then consider an appointment to fill the vacancies created by the resignation. Councilman Thornhill.
Thank you, Mayor. Go ahead and take this in 2 parts, if I may. But first, I'd certainly want to extend from the council thank you to Mr. Erickson for his time, service on this board, and we encourage all our citizens and appreciate all our citizens who do apply and who do serve on our boards. With that said, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we accept the resignation of Lorenzo Erickson for place 5, and that we declare a vacancy exists on place 5.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Thornhill, accept resignation and declare a vacancy exists. A second by Councilman Grena. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilman Thornhill.
And then consideration for an appointment to place 5. The city received, I believe, 2 applications for this vacancy. One individual asked that this be their first choice. The other one asked that this be their second choice. So I'll go ahead and make the recommendation for the person that requested this as their first choice, and I would nominate Gloria Berzosa. I believe that's how you pronounce it. for the replacement.
Have a motion by Councilman Thornhill,
Second.
a second by Councilman Watts. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 21 is consideration of appointment of place number 3 to the Crime Control and Prevention District Temporary Board and the Fire Control Prevention and Emergency Medical Services District Temporary Board. City Council appointed County Commissioner Bobby Mitchell to the place number 3 on the Crime Control and Prevention District Temporary Board and the Fire Control Prevention and Emergency Medical Services District Temporary Board at the April 4, 2011 City Council meeting. Staff has received notice from Commissioner Mitchell that her legal department would prefer that she not serve as a member of these boards in the event she would be calling an election, which is one of the duties of the temporary boards. City Council will need to consider another individual to serve in place number 3. Recommendation is council consider an appointment of place 3 to the Crime Control Prevention and District Temporary Board of the Fire Control Emergency Medical Service Control. Staff, one question I have, if I understand correct, Commissioner Mitchell was not sworn into the board, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So at this time, after looking around, and I thought a good recommendation, Councilman Watts, if you go ahead.
Sure, I'd like to make the motion that we nominate Mark Payne of Denton County 911 to place number 3, the Crime Control and Prevention District Temporary Board and the Fire Control Prevention and Emergency Medical Services District Temporary Board.
Have a motion by Councilman Watts.
Second.
Second by Councilman Durham. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Down to reports. Nika? Bob? Chief Lassie?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Just wanted to remind everybody that the City of Louisville will be hosting Keeping Tradition Alive next week. That's the 4th annual Pipes, Drums, and Honor Guard Symposium. We'll begin the classes and the conference on the 12th. It'll carry through the 13th and 14th. However, the 12th is a big night for our citizens and for everybody to come out right here in front of City Hall. The street will be loaded with antique fire engines. We'll have over 200 pipers and drummers here that evening. Jim Kilpatrick and Ty Fry, the 2 drummers, the Queen's drummers, will be here to perform, as well as the junior ROTC from the high school, and the Dallas Highland Dancers will be here to perform as well. So it's going to be a great evening. I know you've all been there before. We just like to see everybody come out and enjoy the evening.
Look forward to it. It'll be a fun time. Scholar? Chief Kerbel.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to remind council and also invite the public to our open house tomorrow evening. That's May 3rd from 5 to 7. Chance for us to show off the newly remodeled PD that we've been working on the last 16 months or so, and it brings to fruition the law enforcement center that we've been planning there for a while. So again, that's tomorrow evening, 5 to 7. Very, very light refreshments will be served.
It's been many years in planning, and it's good to see it come to fruition. Carol? How are things going with you, ma'am?
Doing very good. Very good. Thank you for recognizing our folks tonight, and let you know that we got the much-needed rain that we need to get us started in the summer, so we're good to go.
And I want to congratulate you and your department tonight on the proclamation that they got, and truly do hope that you will pass it on to all of them, because I know sometimes they don't get the recognition that some of our other team members here in the city get, but they are, as I mentioned earlier, just as important and crucial to us as any other department is. So we appreciate their work. Mr. Conkey, good to see you up there, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, we continue to be extremely busy over at the Medical Center of Louisville Grand Theater. Last month, we kicked off 2 concert series, the Sounds of Louisville 2011 and the Texas Tunes series. This week, we are kicking off another new concert series. This is called the Around the World series, a total of 4 dates. These are performers not really just from Texas, as the name might imply, that will bring an international flair, music, dance, classical, contemporary, and we're trying to bring some additional culture and flavor into Louisville. The inaugural show of this inaugural series will be this Thursday night, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. We're bringing in a group called the Orchestra of New Spain. They will be performing classical music, Spanish compositions that are from the 17th and 18th centuries that were actually discovered by the conductor of this group when he was visiting the royal libraries in Madrid, and they had not been played in, as best he knew, 200 years. So they now are being played by this group very successfully. Oddly enough, the music actually predates the Battle of Pueblo that Cinco de Mayo is named after, but the name of the group is from that time period, so we think it probably works. Tickets are $15, $10 for seniors and students, $5 for Louisville residents, and they're available here at City Hall at the customer service desk.
Boy, it's sure nice to see the activity that we're seeing down here in the Old Town area, and a big portion of it is due to the MCL Grand, and it's great that we're getting that activity booked in there. It's great to see. It sounds like it's going to be a fun night that Thursday night, isn't it? Have a little competition, maybe. Brenda? Mr. Ferris? Mr. Backus? Councilman Durham?
Nothing, Mayor.
Councilman Grana?
Wanted to, I'll just leave it up to Julie for voting. She'll talk about that. Thank you.
Councilman Watts?
I had a couple of good opportunities over the weekend. One, got to throw out the first pitch Saturday at the American South Conference softball tournament out at Lake Park, and did manage to keep it over the plate. Didn't one hop it or anything, although I didn't do the fast pitch underhand like the girls out there, because there's no telling where it would have gone. But glad to have that tournament back, and a good crowd out there. And then Sunday afternoon, city employees were nice enough to invite those of us who might consider ourselves golfers to come out and play in the tournament, and some of us were actually foolish enough to go out there and play in that weather. Just about thawed out, but it was a good time. There were even a couple of people out there in shorts.
For a while.
But it was good to be with the employees, and truly appreciate the invite.
Mr. King?
No, sir.
I'm certainly glad to hear that you got the pitch there without hopping it, because I've hopped it before, more than once. Councilman Warrenhill?
I just wanted to recognize the firefighters who went out to West Texas these last couple of weeks, or maybe a month, however long. It seems like it was going for a long time, and I know they were away from their families and put themselves in harm's way, and we really appreciate everything that the Louisville Fire Department did to contribute to putting that thing out. And hope we won't have any more for a long time. That's it.
Councilor? Julie?
Just a reminder that early voting started today. It will be all this week, Monday through Saturday, from 8 to 5 at the Annex, and then next Monday and Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Election Day will be on the 14th, but you can early vote as long as you're a Denton County resident, registered Denton County resident. You can vote at the Annex at any time during early voting.
Question with that, Mayor. Can people, if they're in another part of the county, can they vote there if there's an election going on?
Yes, they can. You can vote in Denton County also at the Carroll Courts building. They're also having early voting going on. There's a number of locations within Denton that have early voting going on for anyone within Denton County.
What about Trophy Club? Or?
I think Trophy Club has a site also.
One more clarification on that. But on Election Day, they have to vote in their precinct.
Yes, you have to vote at your precinct on Election Day. So if you early vote, you have multiple opportunities and locations to vote from.
I want to encourage everyone to take advantage of all the opportunities that we're having here in the community in the next coming weeks, and hope you all enjoy it and have a good time. With that, we are now in accordance to, gotta remember these, in accordance to Section 551.072, property acquisition, and Section 551.087, deliberation regarding economic development negotiations, we now convene into executive session.
Is your pen ready? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Clerk convenes back in regular session. Is there any action to be taken?
No, sir. Move to adjourn.
Second. Motion to adjourn by Councilman Watts, a second by Councilman Durham. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Almost engaged.